this ever being useful are very slim, so then I switched to Spanish.
Yep, there you go. Smart
Which
up.
is why my Espanol is so bueno.
Muy bien.
Oh, it is. It is muy bueno.
Super goodo.
It's perfect. All right.
Beautiful filio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm assuming we should be live both to Twitch and YouTube now. So, hi, guys. Welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is a live show. We usually do it every Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Although today it's Wednesday because yesterday was the 4th of July, so now it's July 5th. This is episode 111. It's our 111st episode. I'm going to try to say that as many times as I can throughout the episode. And yeah, we're going to talk about some technology. We're going to drink some beer. Might have some adult language from time to time, so bear that in mind if you are a youngster or whatever. I don't recommend this for young people, unless you're really smart or mature. You don't mind us, because we only curse when it's really important.
That's true. We cursed with emphasis.
Yeah, it's only to as an exclamation point on an otherwise dull sentence.
We curse like smart people.
Yeah,
Smart, mature people.
you're goddamn right.
Poop.
Okay. All right. Let's really quickly plug our stores. If you guys happen to buy anything during the show, we will give you a shout out at the end. We try our best to do that. We almost always do. My store is paulshardware.net. I have some shirts in men's and women's cuts, as well as some decals and beanies and polo shirts and
Deckles.
and pub glasses, of course. The lovely, lovely pub glasses for drinking things. So check that out. Buy some stuff. If you want to buy stuff from Kyle, it's bitwit.tech/store. And he's also got some hoodies and some shirts, and he's also got some tall boy glasses.
I do.
All the glasses are 20 ounce. All the merchandise is super high quality.
Yep.
And if you buy from both of our stores at the same time, you'll get the stuff shipped together, and then after it ships, you'll get a little bit of a discount, or a refund, I should say, on your shipping. You usually get like, I think about $5 or $6 back. Most people.
Yeah.
From-
It'll be
from what I
automatically,
understand.
a small portion will be automatically refunded to you after you make the purchase. You won't see it at checkout, but don't worry, you'll get it eventually.
Yes, indeed. All right. Before we dive into the show proper, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks to all you guys for being here.
Yay.
I'm drinking Moose Drool, by the way, which Kyle has provided me with, and is a very tasty beer.
Yep. I'm drinking a Big Sky IPA.
I believe Moose Drool's from Idaho,
But
I could be wrong.
Montana.
Montana, I'm sorry. It's close.
This is Big Sky Brewing.
Yeah.
So
It was on the trip that I drove, because I actually got Moose Drool very close to the brewery the first time I got it when I was like, this is like 12 years ago or something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said Big Sky IPA. I meant, was it Pygmy?
Pygmy.
Ale or something like that?
What? Oh.
Oh, it was some IPA.
Big Sky Pygmy.
From Big Sky Brewing. Blah, blah, blah. Also, guys who
Oh, yeah.
are donating in chat, thank you very much. We'll be reading all of the messages that are attached to donations at the end of each half of the show. So, keep on
That'll be
giving
wonderful.
us money.
All right.
That's the point.
New segments, which is really just a grouping of stories, which I thought I'd make a new segment for. The new
Switching
segment
it up.
is Las Vegas.
Wait. But it's not even CES time of year.
But
What?
it's actually, it means the Vegas, right? Because all these stories are about Vega GPUs, right? And I thought that was clever enough that I even made a new lower thirds for it. There it is.
Vladimir Putin approves of,
Good.
of this name change.
Good.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Beautiful.
So let's talk about the first story on this list. We actually talked about Vega the launch of Vega Frontier Edition, Vega FE, last week, which launched the day that we did the show last week. And they didn't really do much sampling to vendors or to reviewers prior to that. So there have been some very good reviews that have come out. I'm going to share a couple stories from... excuse me. I went to the wrong story first. We're going to talk to a couple reviews from Gamers Nexus as well as PC Perspective. But first, since all the excitement about Vega is about the Vega RX, the Radeon version of Vega, which is meant for gaming, since the Frontier Edition is not meant for gaming, there are some new leaks on that just recently. This is WCCF Tech, so...
Grain of salt.
Grain of salt. Confirmed, according to them, via a 3D Mark 11 database entry. Because when you do some of those benchmarks, the synthetic benchmarks, they might automatically... Oops, I'm pressing the wrong button. When you do benchmarks, they might automatically submit the benchmark to a database, and so you troll those databases and look for specific IDs of graphics cards that you know exist. WCCF Tech apparently discovered some of that. The reference RX Vega board is codenamed 687F:(C1), which really rolls off the tongue.
Yep.
That's just a database entry, though. And they have it kind of paired up here with the different GPUs, some that exist, some that are forthcoming. The clock speed, though, of 1,630 megahertz, though, is what was registered by this database entry. Also featured 8 gigs of HBM2, not 16 like the Frontier Edition, and a total of 484 gigabytes per second of bandwidth between the memory and the GPU, which is pretty impressive, but I mean the same as the Frontier Edition. So it does represent 30 megahertz core clock faster speed than the Frontier Edition. However, the HBM2 memory is running at the same frequency. So there's that. Now, if this is just a reference edition, which we would have to assume it is since this is still very early, and of course we're assuming this is real maybe, then we would also have to assume that there would be aftermarket cards made by third-party add-in board manufacturers that might move those clock speeds up, or perhaps even memory frequency, that kind of thing. Now, since this is a benchmark, 3D Mark 11 benchmark, they did have the actual results listed here. They're not looking at the overall score in this list. They're just looking at the graphics score because they're all tested with slightly different hardware. Although it looks like all these are with 6700Ks. But the generic VGA one is over there on the left, score of 31,873, which is more than the GTX 1080, which scored 27,618. Also more than the GTX 1070 with a score of 23,608, although still falls behind the 1080 Ti, which had a score of 38,389.
So it looks like it's almost right in between the 1080 and 1080 Ti, maybe leaning a little bit closer to the 1080, but will probably be a lot cheaper than the 1080 Ti.
Yeah, I mean, and that according to these tests, of course, and these are
according to the tests.
These are synthetics. It's really early. We would assume that whatever drivers they're using are still premature, since the drivers, even for the Frontier Edition, they've already stated that the gaming side drivers for that, when it's in game mode, are still not as totally good as they should be.
Yeah.
Because they're still working on it. Probably a lot of that has to do with the launch cadence that they've gone with for Vega, because they originally promised Vega by the end of the first half, which was the end of June, and they barely squeak it in there with the Frontier Edition, getting it out like just barely on the last couple days of June. And it wasn't even the gaming version of the card, but hey, they did launch Vega. They launched a Vega product. So
procrastinators.
So there.
Yeah. Better late than never.
WCCF Tech did do the charts on here, so you can see those next to each other. So there's the Vega with a score of 31,000, 1080 Ti up there with 38,000, 1080, 1070 down there below it. So there you go. They also reran these tests with their own cards and got some various scores, testing some overclock speeds and whatnot. So the article's linked in the video description, as is all the articles that we are talking about today, so you guys can check those out if you want a little bit more info on it.
I wonder if Vega's launch price, or the RX Vega's launch price, is going to be affected at all by the cryptocurrency mining, fuckery that's going on right now.
I don't know. It's difficult to say because it's impossible to say, right? I guess unless okay. So the reviews that we're going to talk about right now, of course, from Gamers Nexus PC perspective, have been testing mostly a mix of gaming and workstation applications to kind of see what the cards are made of. Gamers Nexus focused a lot on power consumption and that kind of thing, because that's a more fundamental thing about the chip that isn't going to change much with driver updates. And they also, they're very methodical in their testing and everything, so that's how they decided to go about it. But just to run down it real quick, again, linked in the description if you guys want to read the full article. But this one's by Steve Burke, and he did a series of tests. They did the workstation tests with Blender, Maya, 3D Studio Max, Creo, Kata. Yeah. And they also did GPU tests, gaming performance testing with Firestrike, Doom, Sniper, Ghost Recon, For Honor, and Ashes of the Singularity. And then Power, Noise, and Thermals at the end. Fascinating stuff. They've also done a teardown of the card. They have BuildZoid go over it and talk about the power delivery modules on it and everything, which are all really, really impressive and really, really well done. He was very, very enthusiastic about kind of the ideal layout they had done as far as the spacing between the power phases and the GPU, which is you're only able to do because you have the HBM, which is also on the same package with the GPU die itself. But anyway, this GPU is a weird situation because it is not a gaming graphics card, but it's not necessarily a fully fledged workstation graphics card either. A lot of the workstation graphics cards, like your Quadros and your Fire Pros, cost as much as they do because they require a serious amount of validation to make sure that they're going to work with the software that you're paying lots and lots of money for. The analogy that Steve made in his video was if you're developing something like you're developing parts for airplanes, it's very important that everything is very, very accurate because people's lives are at stake. If you're developing a video game, you know, it's not quite as important. So you can get by with something that's a little bit less expensive and doesn't necessarily have all the validation. So what you have with Vega Frontier Edition is a workstation class graphics card, not quite as many validations as you would have with those types of GPUs, but $1,000 or $1,500 once the water cooled version is available. And for people who are doing that type of work, it makes a lot of sense. It's not a gaming graphics card, but a lot of people are looking at it as such, and that's why a lot of the gaming tests, when you compare it, have been seeming disappointing to people. Again, there's still work being done on the drivers for these, the gaming side drivers. We're not sure how much improved performance to expect there once those do become more fleshed out and more, actually tailored for specific titles and that kind of thing. But when it comes to the actual tests, the Gamers Nexus ran at least. The Vega Frontier Edition kind of traded blows with the Titan XP in the workstation tasks that they ran. Maya 3D Studio Max, Blender, Creo, and Katia. I don't know why I pronounced that wrong. It did seem to like CAD-based tasks a little bit better, but again, a little bit, it pretty much went back and forth. When it came to the gaming tests, it would actually perform either just below a GTX 1080 or above a GTX 1070 in the actual gaming performance as listed. But again, this is not a gaming card, so this is why some people are looking at these tests and being like, wow, like not beating a 1080, like that seems disappointing or whatever. But
it's not what it's intended for, really.
yeah, so again, really good job on the article by Gamers Nexus, so I encourage you guys to read that full on if you want to get a little bit more info on it. Yeah, Steve's conclusion was that it's really an entry to professional level card. It makes sense for workstation apps. It's inexpensive versus a Quadro or a full-fledged workstation GPU like that. It's a good fit for someone like a game developer who needs to also be able to switch over to gaming mode quickly and not fully rely on workstation level drivers. So yeah, there's that.
Well, it's cool if you're a video game developer.
Yeah, I mean, and it is, and there's a lot of video game developers out there. It's a very, it's a good market to get into. There's lots of jobs and everything, and there's lots of small studios who need to do that kind of work who can't afford to shell out $4,000 or $5,000 for a graphics card. Mm-hmm. So perhaps something nice to sit in between there.
And there's also really nothing on NVIDIA's side that I know of that's sort of a hybrid between a workstation and a gaming card, is there?
There's the Titan XP.
That's pretty, yeah, I guess they have that.
There's a Titan XP, which is what it's compared to in most of their tests. And the Titan XP is $1,200. The Vega Frontier Edition is $1,000. The Titan XP does seem to outperform it when you look at sort of across the board as far as testing goes. The Vega Frontier Edition also seems to draw a little bit more power, although the Vega Frontier Edition's stock cooler seems to do a slightly better job. It kind of depends on which tests are running and everything, though. But the point being, it's competitive to a degree with the Titan XP, so there's probably going to be people who are interested in it.
Right.
So yeah, there's that.
Good old niche.
Further from Gamers Nexus, because they actually have a card and they're doing pretty cool stuff with it. Just today, I didn't include it for today's coverage, but they did a clock-for-clock comparison with the Frontier Edition and the Fiji, the
Fury?
The Fury X.
Uh-huh.
Fury X is faster. Surprising. Just kidding.
Oh.
When they're clock for clock, when they're clock for clock, it's weird because sometimes they're kind of at the same level with each other. But yeah, it's
So the drivers too, though. The Fiji drivers have been
Yeah.
in development for quite some time, as opposed to just this really fresh launch. And it's not even for like a diehard gaming card. Like seems like the drivers are maybe more tuned or optimized for like the 3D CAD, rendering type stuff.
Well, it seemed like that's what they were more ready for.
Yeah.
Or perhaps there's just less scrutiny in that area than if they had launched it specifically.
True.
At like the gaming card or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with the comparing it to the Fury X was interesting. But I mean, bear in mind the Fury X ships at a clock speed of 1050, whereas this is shipping at a clock speed of 1600. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of benefit that you get just with the improved architectures that they're able to just run it at a much higher frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some interesting stories about that too, and I think they're also going into doing another hybrid mod with it and water cooling it. I also heard him mention. Anyway, all right, let's talk about PC Perspective. They've been doing the same thing. Ryan Strout actually was following him and his tweets and everything. And he was one of the first to get his cards, from what I understand. And last week, PC Perspective actually did a live stream with some initial benchmarks. And then their live stream charts he was putting up and everything were immediately screen capped and reposted by WCCF Tech, as well as elsewhere around the internet, which is either like shitty or hey, cool, more exposure for PC Perspective, I guess. I didn't see anyone posting them without attribution for the most part, but
Yeah.
Ryan actually ordered a couple cards to make sure he could get them quickly. He got both of them, so he has done some crossfire testing. This was just posted today. Yeah. Caveats in the article, again, these are not gaming cards. The drivers are not ready yet. Bear that all in mind. He said in both game mode and professional mode, though, the crossfire option is just there. It's in the Radeon settings. You just turn it on. So that's fairly easy, I suppose. And then the results, which are down here. Anyway, I'm not going to go to each individual page here, but he did Dirt Rally, Fallout 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, Hitman, The Witcher 3. And the results were pretty impressive. Pretty much across the board. Vega, Frontier Edition, and Crossfire jumps up, so it's beating a 1080, but still not beating a 1080 Ti. So you can either look at that as like, good, it improved, or look at it like, man, it still didn't beat the 1080 Ti. Not a gaming card.
Yep.
Still not fully fleshed out drivers. Okay.
Especially for Crossfire too. Like,
yeah. Especially for Crossfire. Also pointed out in the article, Crossfire Crossfire driver support is often like the very last thing that game developers and or the driver developers actually focus on. So all that stuff in mind. The exceptions in the case of what I was talking about, it also lost to the 1080 in GTA 5 at 2560 by 1440. It had 0 or negative scaling in Hitman, so that performance was pretty much the same as the single card. And it did manage to beat the 1080 Ti in Witcher 3 at 4K. So there you go. Had pretty good scaling there in Witcher 3.
Good to know.
Yeah. All right. One last story here in this segment, since we've been talking so much about Vega.
Las Vegas.
This has been, we've mentioned this before, but it has now been confirmed. The RX Vega gaming GPUs are going to be launched. We don't know what degree they're going to be launched, to what degree they're going to be launched, but they're going to be launched at SIGGRAPH 2017. They'll be unveiled. So, again, we're not sure if that means that's when reviews are going to come out, or
They'll go on sale.
or they're going to go on sale, or they're going to have like a paper launch, or like, hey, we confirm this actually exists, and here's some specs for it. In another month, we'll have them for you. Who knows? Hopefully, it means that there's actually reviews and everything like that.
Something was confirmed today, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah, but the
Basically, what's going on?
confirmation came via Twitter. Confirmed that we know nothing. But yeah, this is confirmed via the Radeon Twitter. So SIGGRAPH 2017, which is in Los Angeles. Maybe we can stop by.
Hey.
We're local. July 30th to August 3rd is when the event actually takes place. SIGGRAPH is the special interest group on computer graphics and interactive techniques. This is their annual conference on computer graphics that's convened by the ACM SIGGRAPH Corp organization. The first SIGGRAPH conference was in 1974.
I don't like how they left out two letters in their analogy, because it's and interactive techniques. So
I
technically, it should
feel
be
like
SIGGRAPHIC.
I feel like interactive.
SIGGRAPHIC. SIGGRAPHIC.
You're right.
I mean, it even flows nicely.
Interactive
Why
techniques might have been added later on, like
And they should have added on INT. I feel like interactive techniques, whatever that means, is getting left out of the equation. And for that reason,
we'll notify them.
I will not be attending SIGGRAPHIC this year.
Kyle's putting SIGGRAPH on blast right now.
I'm boycotting that shit.
The name sucks.
If they can't learn acronyms, they can't run a trade show. Sorry. I feel very strongly about this.
Alright.
Totally
you're kind of
joking.
burning your bridges with like respect to going there and checking Vega out, right? But
I know.
you
Like,
show up to be like, I'm here for the Vega demo. It's like you were the one who talked shit on our name.
hey, if I got X series samples from Intel after that sketch video,
That's true. That's true.
maybe I should be
Just
more
gotta
scared.
Gotta keep pushing the envelope.
Yep, that's right.
Never back down.
No.
Okay,
Never give
so Vega for gaming should hopefully be here soon.
Yay!
Yay! All right, another new segment.
Oh,
This next
Double
new
trouble.
segment, I know. This new segment
You're
is
on
called
fire.
"Say It Ain't So."
like the Weezer song?
Yeah,
Cool. I like that
kind of.
song.
That is a good song.
It is.
Actually, when I came up with the name, I didn't even put those two and two together, and then I was like, oh yeah, I like that song.
This is true.
Anyway, these are mostly stories about scams of some degree, or things that seemed to be one way and then actually are not. So this is probably a one-off. I'm probably not gonna become a regular segment on the show or anything like that. But you never know. All right, so I think we talked about this on the show before. This is over in China. ARS Technica article. Remember this car straddling bus?
What?
We mentioned. I'm pretty sure we showed this at some point.
Oh.
It's a bus that drives over the top of a road, with
Uh-huh.
tracks on the side, and the bus is on top, and then the traffic can still go underneath.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this was first reported last year in late August. It's in the Chinese city of Qinhuangdao. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's near Beijing. And this is the TEB, the Transit Elevated Bus. But apparently it's all garbage. It's all BS.
What?
Yep.
This has all been photoshopped?
No. So it actually exists, and it did roll up and down the road a few times, but has since just been abandoned and sits in the middle of the street. In December, it had been sitting on its test track in the city for months, gathering dust and causing traffic jams. That was, I believe, reported on CNN.
What? How is it causing traffic jams if it allows cars to underpass?
Because I don't know, you can't. It's scary. You know, you just see this big thing
People
there,
just
and you're like,
brake.
what do you do?
Just slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a tunnel that looks weird.
Yeah, pretty much. Or like, what if you needed to
Is that a UFO?
What if you're like, right as I get under there, I'm gonna need to pull over for some reason, and then it's gonna be blocking the way.
How unlucky would you be?
It's
if
possible.
You had to really pull over
That's
in the
happens at the
span
worst
of
time.
that 20 feet.
It can
of...
happen at the worst time.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so on
I'll
Sunday, Beijing's Dongcheng District Police Bureau announced on Weibo that it had started an investigation to the company behind the TEB project. That's Huaying Kailai. Huaying Kailai. Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce Chinese words. I'm bad. Anyway, that company is an online investing platform, kind of like Crowdcube. Never heard of Crowdcube.
Nope.
All right, but it's an online investing platform. Let's compare it to something like Kickstarter.
Sure.
Except it's for investments. The police say they're holding more than 30 people. It says holding. Did they arrest them? I'm not sure. Maybe that's why it's not running.
Or
It's
just
'cause
like just holding them.
Yeah, just holding.
Just hold me.
Just like holding close, sobbing,
That's
gently
very,
weeping.
very kind of them. It's very nice.
But it includes Bai Jiming, who runs the Huaying Kailai and the TB project. Sorry, I know I'm pronouncing Chinese. Anyway, this project was sold to private investors. It had a minimum buy-in of $150,000 and a promised annualized return of 12%. As of October 2016, they had raised 9.1 billion yen, which is about 1 billion pounds or 1.3 billion US dollars. But now 72 of those investors have filed lawsuits, and who knows what's going to happen to this massive bus thing.
Jeez.
The end of the story talks about how the dude in charge of all this actually is talking about like he wants to relocate it to a different city, which is weird. Is weird if it's a scam or something like that. But anyway, I just thought that was somewhat fascinating.
It is.
Oh, there's other pictures. I forgot to go through there. Yeah, so here's the bus thing. There it is.
See, that's why I'm just holding on to my $150,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were both considering investing, but
Mm-hmm.
glad
They
we
asked
did
me.
not.
They asked me, and I had to turn them down. They just wanted to put my name on it.
Smishing.
Smishing? Is this a mashup of phishing and SMS texting?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh.
How did you guess that?
Wow.
Is it because you're reading?
It's almost as if
because you're reading.
you have
You're reading
notes
my notes.
in the Google Doc.
Well, so smishing. Everyone watch out for smishing. Have you been smished? I
It's a fun
I might have
adjective.
been smished before.
Or a verb.
So smishing, like Kyle mentioned,
Had a good smishing last night.
It's like phishing, like you'd be sent spam email or something like that, trying to get you to click on something or expose your information. But it's a SMS text message that you get on your phone, meant to defraud you. According to the article, users tend to trust text messages as opposed to email, which many people are suspicious of due to phishing. But you get a text and you're like, hey, it's a text.
I must open it and read it.
No one scandalous or with ill will ever texts me.
No.
So there you go.
Everyone on
The text will try to get you to provide account information such as login names, passwords, or credit cards. It might also include a link, so if you have a smartphone like most people do, the link in the messaging app will often launch something like a browser. The messages are often sent with a sense of urgency. Sometimes they pose as businesses, like, oh, your account here is overdue. And you're like, I don't have an account there. I better investigate. Which you shouldn't do. Don't do that.
Just leave it alone.
But yeah, sometimes they'll pose as businesses, sometimes they'll pose as friends, like, oh, you never called me back the other night. You know, I'm just sitting here naked with my girlfriends.
I don't have a friend named Bartholomew.
Something like that's,
Maybe I do have a friend named
that's the text you got
Bartholomew.
from Bartholomew. It's been so long since me and Bartholomew were in touch.
If you were a smisher, why would you use the name Bartholomew? Like, I'd go with Mike.
Because you're looking
Or
for that,
something
you need
way
that
more
hook.
common.
You need something unique and different that people are like, huh, I was going to ignore this, but
That's
now,
true.
But now I'm interested.
Or maybe because, like, whoever clicks on Bartholomew, the Bartholomew text, you know they'll fall for anything else.
Yeah.
It's just a way to weed out all the smart people.
That's true. It's really, see, that's
I got a guy who clicked
a
on
high level-
Bartholomew, dude.
It's a high-level mind game there.
Fool clicked on Bartholomew. Alright,
So you have to send him all the smishes. I'm gonna smish him so hard now.
Smish the F out of it.
So yeah, never tap links sent via text message, especially if they're URL shortened ones. Consider an antivirus, the article says. They recommend ESET, which actually is a pretty good antivirus. The guy they interviewed for the article is from ESET, which might have something to do with that, but ESET it actually is a pretty good one. I was going to say, the article didn't mention this. This is my personal advice. My phone, at least, because I get spam calls a decent amount too. On Android phones, at least, I'm not sure if you can do this on Apple. You can, like, long press the number or the call that came in, and then you can either report it, like report a spam or block the number or whatever. But using the reporting tools that are available to you, I would say definitely do that, because that can immediately get sent in. So, like, have you ever gotten a call on your phone where it says suspected spam caller?
Yeah, it's because
like,
it's been flagged enough times.
Yeah, that's
by
because
other
people have reported that. So,
right.
So crowdsource, the flagging of these bullshit artists, and hopefully they'll be less effective. I don't know.
I can't really expand on this topic very much, but over the weekend I kept getting spammed with this number, and one of the guys I was with, because I was at a bachelor party.
I tried to call you a bunch this weekend. I was like,
was that you?
No, I'm just...
Let me go ahead and unblock your number really quick, Paul. But he recommended an app called Mr. Number or something like that.
Mr. Number?
Or I think it was Mr. Number.
Okay.
And I downloaded it, but I never got around to using it. So I don't know. Maybe you guys could check that out. Apparently, it's for blocking spam. And,
so you're saying you recommend it?
Or it gives you more information on the calls that you're receiving more than what your phone natively gives you, which could be cool. Again, I can't expand on it much. Yes, maybe it is.
All right.
Mr. Number. Yeah.
Missed your number?
No, Mr. Number, like
Mr. Oh, like missed like the
like a gentleman.
Like a gentleman caller.
Yes.
We should make a competing app called Gentleman Caller.
Gentleman Caller.
Right? That'd be good. That's a good name for
It
it.
also sounds like a bondage toy, like a gentleman collar.
You're right.
So that could get.
It's just
There can be multiple
There's all sorts of
venture
new
capitalist
product
avenues.
opportunities. People need to take advantage of these.
Or we could just do Mrs. Number.
Mrs. Number. Yeah, that's easy too.
Mistress Number.
All right, one more story here to talk about, and see, this is a great segment.
People are
Say it
confirming
so.
it in chat that Mr. Number is a pretty sweet
Mr.
app.
Number's good.
Some people have used it.
All right, chat
Cool.
says so.
Must be true.
All right, you remember being all excited to buy a gene-edited tiny pig, like a little tiny pig?
Wait, what?
Like a mini
Rewind
pig.
a little bit here. What?
All right, so this article's from MIT Technology Review.
What do they know?
There's a Chinese genomics giant, one of the largest genomics companies in the world, actually. They're called BGI. They're actually going public this week. You can invest in them.
I'm gonna do
I
it.
imagine it'd be
Healthy payoff.
on the Chinese. What's the Chinese stock market called? I don't know. It's not the Nikkei. Is it?
I don't know enough about stocks.
On the Nikkei, I think Nikkei is Japan, or is that the entire Pacific Rim? I'm not sure. All right. Never mind. I don't do stocks, so.
Neither do I.
Point being, for a while, people were kind of freaked out because they were genetically engineering mini pigs. Yes. In September 2015, and I think this is something we talked about too. I was trying to make this, maybe it's like stuff we talked about in the past that is now we're reporting on to be false, but I don't know if that's true or not.
New segment idea.
Yeah, we'll make a new segment about
Welcome
that
to
too.
bullshit.
Bullshit Island. Anyway, September 2015, there were some employees from this company at the Shenzhen International Biotech Leaders Summit, and they said that they intended to sell half-sized Bama pigs to inaugurate a market for gene-edited pets available in custom colors and sizes.
Custom colors
Yeah,
and
custom
sizes.
colors. So it's like
What are these sleeved
I want a
extension
tiny,
cables?
I want a tiny pig, and
Good
I want
Lord.
it to be like turquoise, right? I want it like a very bright 80s turquoise
Find me a picture of that.
pig,
I want to see.
and I
that.
want the pig to be that big. That's what I want. And you just place your order, and they're like, "Here's your pig." Costs
That's
$1,400. None of this is true, by the way. They
Oh.
were talking about it. But a gene-edited mini pig was going to cost $1,400, and people were either really excited about it if they're smart,
Or pissed.
or they're super pissed if they're a bunch of stuck-up prudes who don't like gene-edited mini pigs. It's like, oh, playing God or something like that. But it's like, just look at the mini pig.
It's adorable. Customizable
cute.
pigs.
So cute. But anyway, it's all for naught. Although you can now invest as of this week, apparently in BGI, as they have gone public, you cannot
RGB
buy
pigs.
the DNA engineered mini pigs. They said they won't be marketing the pigs to consumers at all. We have no plans to sell micro pigs. Note the phrasing here, though. We have no plans to sell micro pigs.
Doesn't mean they're not going to make them though.
True.
Or
Does
test
it
on
mean
'em.
maybe they could have a giveaway? Like, what if they just gave away the mini pigs?
1,000 mini pig giveaway.
Yeah. I would enter that contest very, very quickly.
They just mail you the pig.
I would make a bunch of fake identities to enter
How
that so
small.
I could have a better chance of winning the mini pig.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, that's a quote from Yang Li, who's a key member of their animal science program. Yang Li, what's wrong with Yang Li?
No, I'm just
Oh, I thought you were laughing at the name. It's
No,
like, that's a guy's name.
thinking of dumb thoughts.
Oh, okay. China has apparently raced ahead with gene editing technology in general, though. They have also generated long-haired goats, which is what I would do first if I had the power of a god.
Yep.
And super muscular dogs. Actually, I kind of want to look at
Super
dogs.
muscular dogs.
Yeah, they have super muscular dogs.
Mad gains for your
Check
for your
out.
chow.
Look at those guys.
What? They don't even look that muscular.
Hercules.
Why would a dog
and
need to be?
Tiangao.
Why would
Look
you need to try to make a dog more muscular?
Look at Hercules.
Look at how ripped my dog is.
That's Hercules right there.
What, is it a Siamese dog?
I don't know. They just
Is
they're supposed to be super. I don't know. Maybe it's a relative term. Maybe.
That's two dogs, right?
Yeah, it's two different dogs. They're
Okay.
not. They're not.
They're not conjoined or
No.
anything.
They're just.
I don't know what the hell they're doing in this lab.
They're the world's first gene-edited dogs, and they have more muscles and are expected to have stronger running ability, which is good for hunting, police, and military applications.
God. So basically, yeah, God, quite literally. So basically, we're just gonna see this. I mean, this is like steroids for dogs, right?
No, I
no,
mean,
this is like
it's
actually genetically
genetic. Yeah, it's genetic modification.
modified. Yeah.
They're modifying the
Well,
genes.
then if it's not like steroids, then eventually it's just going to be... They're all doing this to test it on humans. Eventually, they're just going to test it on humans. Be like, hey, look, you don't even have to go to the gym anymore. You just, like, take this
Probably.
injection, and you'll get super ripped. Like, not even steroids-based, but genetically enhanced muscles and other things. Like, here, take a pill. Well, they already have that for enlarging your penis, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't either. I was like, I'm gonna respond to what Kyle's saying. I'm gonna listen to what he has to say. Have a thoughtful response.
It's never a good idea. Never.
Because half the time, you'll say something, I'll be like, I wasn't even paying attention to what Kyle just said. I probably seem like an asshole because I'm not responding.
All right, this time I'm going to be really engaged.
This time I'm like, all right, Kyle.
I got to see what all the hype's about.
Lay
Kyle's
it
just talking
down
about
for me.
things.
What do you have to say? Just trailing off. Trailing off.
All right, you can go back to ignoring me for the rest of the show.
All right. It's good. It's good we're to this point. We're not quite to the point where we are inebriated yet.
No, I've had like one beer.
We have a slightly...
One beer.
Yeah, you should...
I'm not
You're in
drunk.
your second now, right?
Just ordinarily this odd.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to go into Sword Fight next. And Sword Fight's going to be slightly different this week. We only have a single topic, and we're not going to debate it so much as we are going to give you guys the thing to vote on, which I'm posting into chat right now. And we're also going to discuss it, and then we'll come back and see what you guys think. So I wanted to start out with the question to keep things on the up and up. This is net neutrality. I've been talking about net neutrality, just trying to sprinkle it in here and there with each show because it is an ongoing issue right now. And I want to know what you guys think because I don't think I've polled our audience directly. If you've watched the show, you probably know where we stand on this, and you might already have a pre-existing opinion on this as well. But I tried to phrase this as neutrally as possible. Net neutrality rules are in place right now because the FCC classifies internet service providers as common carriers under Title II of the Telecommunications Act, which was initially from, I believe, 1934 or something like that. There's lots of arguments. Well, let's not just get into that yet. Anyway, so here's your responses that you think they should stay in place. Those rules in place force ISPs to maintain net neutrality, to treat all the packets as they're traveling across the internet equally. Some people think those rules should be rolled back and that they shouldn't be regulated as Title II common carriers. And then, of course, I have a third option, which if you're not familiar or you don't really care, because maybe you don't care. Maybe you're going to skip this part. Maybe you're going down into the video's description hoping someone has done timestamps for this point so you can jump to the next thing. That's fine. That's totally fine.
The fact, if you're even watching this show right now,
Yeah.
it means you should care, though.
That is true.
If you're watching anything on the internet or doing anything on the internet.
So the reason I bring this up, more specifically today, is because in 1 week, Wednesday of next week, on July 12th, there is being organized an internet-wide day of action to save net neutrality.
What are we going to do? How does it work?
There's lots of different things that you can do. This link is in the description for battleforthenet.com, which is the central organizing body that's putting this all together, but there's tons and tons of participants. The participants include Amazon, Netflix, Kickstarter, GitHub,
Pornhub.
Reddit's. Pornhub's there, of course.
Pornhub.
We got to point those out. This list has been getting longer and longer. Funny or Die's on there.
I fix it.
Probably lots of companies who do business in some way, shape, or form or another on the internet who hopefully maybe you've even worked with before and think are good companies. And
RedTube, yeah.
maybe if the people who are doing stuff behind these companies also think that net neutrality is a good thing, then maybe that is something to consider. This website also has a quick rundown of what net neutrality is, which I've already kind of mentioned, so I won't repeat it. Title II of the Communications Act. Why it is important as far as maintaining equality for the bits of data that are traveling to and fro across all of the internet and the series of tubes that it is connected with. What's going to happen on July 12th, which is a variety of things. You might have websites that have blackouts. You might have internet users and people who are just being a little bit more active and communicating about it. Just trying to have a sort of organized swell of information spreading about this in general. Because that seems to be the problem right now, is a lot of people don't really understand this fully or don't really see what's going on. or see it's being pushed as a partisan issue, or see it being pushed as an issue about government regulation. Because there's a lot of people who don't like government regulations. And you know what? I sympathize with that to some degree. I think there's a lot of government regulations that are stupid. But I also think there's points when companies have a little bit too much control and a little bit too much freedom to do whatever the heck they want. And if there's a classic use case, classic point where you could say, look at this happening right now, internet service providers would be one of those. They almost universally have some of the worst ratings as far as customer feedback goes, because a lot of the times in the United States you don't even have more than one choice as far as where you get your internet from. So
why treat your customers well if they have no other option to go to?
So yeah, the people who are pushing for this all seem to be in a position to greatly benefit from it, because if you're an internet service provider and you have a monopoly on the people who you're providing your internet to, and then let's say you have a deal with some publication or some content creation site. Let's say there were multiple YouTubes or whatever, and you have a deal with YouTube A, and you set up something with them so that all of their content, you can say, hey, all of my subscribers can get that content from YouTube A. And they're like, hey, cool, now we can get that content. But then later, because net neutrality rules aren't in effect, you say, all right, now all that other content on the internet, now you got to pay more if you want that. We're going to put that stuff on a higher tier of payment plan that you don't have to pay for, and pretty much do that, or you can't access that part of the internet anymore.
It'll be like cable, like sort of premium subscription channels, like how you have to pay extra. Like you can buy the cable package, but then you can also do add-ons, right? Yeah. If you want HBO, if you want to watch Game of Thrones or like Silicon Valley, you have to pay extra just for HBO. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think most of us nowadays, like at least the people watching this show and me and Paul, like we are on the internet more so than we are on TV when it comes to like consuming content, because of the way the model works on the internet versus cable. But net neutrality, if that goes away, you're basically adopting the TV model onto the internet, which is the reason we left TV in the first place. So that's why it's important.
Yeah, and what it's basically, it's allowing that to happen. And there's a lot of people who say like, oh, these rules don't need to be in place because the internet service providers can be trusted to do, you know, they can be trusted to handle it themselves. And that's really what the ISPs will say. Is like, we don't need regulation. It's a free market economy. Everything will work itself out. And, you know, free market, everything's going to be fine in the end. But the problem is that, sorry, I got distracted briefly.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. See, this is why I'm trying to discuss this earlier rather than later.
I'm worried for my half of the show. Oh God.
Why? Do you have anything serious to talk about in your half?
No, that's probably true. I'll be fine.
We had last week we had a debate about Ethereum that was way too late in the show, so I apologize to anyone who was offended by that. All right, let's get back to it now. So, what is going on right now, and what can anyone do about this if you've never heard of this before? So, right now there is what is called a notice of proposed rulemaking that is open at the FCC, and they're taking comments on it. So people can go to the FCC's website, and by going through a series of forms, you can say, hey, I'm this person, you can enter your personal information, say like, I am in favor of, you know, Title II classification because I think net neutrality is important, or like, I think net neutrality sucks, and, you know, you should roll it back and get rid of those rules. That's how it's made. But the issue is that there has been, according to a lot of the research that's been going on by a lot of the websites involved, there's been a lot of abuse going on with that system. If you go to the website gofccyourself.com, which was set up by John Oliver and the people over at the what's the show called? Last Week Tonight. That will take you directly to that form so you can fill it out. And there's certainly plenty of form letters that have been set up by people who are in favor of keeping net neutrality rules that have gone out and that people have used, because people are like, what do I say? And like, oh, just use this statement. You can put it there. But now there have been a few more. There's been a bit more research done on it. And oops, I pressed the wrong button. TechDirt has an article right now, basically saying that there's maybe some issues with the FCC comment system going on. First off, it's gone down at sort of weird times. There were suspected DDoS attacks on it, but that seems to have gone by the wayside. But analysts are suggesting that up to 40% of the roughly 5 million comments, they've gotten 5 million comments on this so far, but roughly 40% are coming from a bot that uses the same exact anti-net neutrality statement on everything.
What?
It's the exact same statement every time.
Damn bots.
Is
it a whore bot?
Up to 40% of 5 million is a lot. That's like 200. That's like 2 million.
Yeah.
2 million of those right now. There's some new reports going on because the information that's submitted on that is sort of publicly available, so people can access it. Also, the information that you submit, if you use your name and address and everything, it is publicly available. So do bear that in mind. Although that's somewhat important because there's also been a lot of people who have been going in, parsing those things, looking at specifically those suspected bot submitting comments that have that same exact statement going in each one, seeing the information from the people that's been provided, contacting those people, and those people are like, I have no idea what this is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of evidence that there has been a lot of personal information stolen from people that's being used for this, comments submitted in other people's names, comments submitted by dead people and that kind of thing.
Ridiculous.
And there's also a lot of sort of crosstalk going on, I will say, because there are articles like this around. This is from the Fiscal Times. Why our kids will thank us for rolling back net neutrality. This article is clearly aimed at older people because it's like talking about our kids. The article is clearly anti-net neutrality. The article does not go into anything specific as far as modern discussion of net neutrality. It uses some very tired arguments like, the Title II of the 1934 Communications Act, talking about how, like, why should the internet be governed over by something that was made in 1934? I don't know. We have lots of stuff that's governed by the Telecommunications Act of 1934. It's just it's a terrible article.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it too much.
I'm mad just like thinking about it.
Yeah, and it's
I don't want to look at the article at all.
It like compares people who are for net neutrality to Luddites, and basically says like, oh, it's anyway, it's a stupid article. It's written by James Brawhol, who is a research fellow at the Mercatus Center at George Mason University, which is basically, oh look who's on the board, Charles Koch. This is a think tank that's funded by the Koch brothers, who have lots of money. And anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked here, but there's a lot of stuff going on the internet to sort of spread misinformation about this. So this is why the Day of Action is important, to get more information that is more accurate out about this, and also to communicate to people who might not know otherwise. So if you have people who have no idea what net neutrality is, and they start asking you, especially on July 12th, when suddenly their favorite website has a message that they don't understand what's going on here, hopefully some of the things we have said have helped make it a little bit more clear to you guys.
Yeah.
And I hope we've treated this subject fairly too, because it's very important for the future of the internet and for people who want to be able to do creative things on the internet, to start small and get big, and not have several large companies that are largely controlling the transfer of information from point A to point B.
Stupid Koch brothers.
Yeah, those guys too.
So, okay, are we moving on to news now?
Well, this was theoretically a sword fight segment, so I did want to see what people had to say about this one. Let's see what the results are. Where people stand. All right, so we have 77%.
Yay!
Over 3/4 who
we cater
think
to smart people.
Should stay in place.
You're all smart.
We
you
got
all
13% who think they should be rolled back. ISPs shouldn't be regulated.
Trolls.
We have 11% who are not familiar with it. So it seems like the vast majority of you guys are definitely in favor of net neutrality rules. For people who voted against it, I wish we could sit down and have a conversation back and forth and discuss it a little bit more in depth. But for now, we definitely need to move on because our shows
we'll
can't
do
always be
a meetup.
an hour and a half each.
We'll do a meetup where that's all we do. We just talk about net neutrality.
But yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Moving on.
Where was I going to?
Tech
next?
news.
Yeah, news.
News.
All right.
What do you got for us today, Paul?
We're still on time, right? Okay.
Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, because we started.
Well, we got like donations and stuff.
Oh, donations and stuff. Right.
So
I think I can roll through these pretty quickly though.
Okay.
All right. So starting off with this kind of random story, we've talked a lot about self-driving cars and automation and that kind of thing. This is the first self-driving grocery delivery van,
Ooh.
the Xpectations. This is in Greenwich, London, in the UK. The van is called a Cargo Pod. It's developed by Xpectations, which is an autonomous systems startup spun off from Oxford University. It was rapidly constructed, they say, from an off-the-shelf electric vehicle drivetrain. Wheelbase. It's got 2 LiDAR sensors above the wing mirrors, 3 cameras above the front bumper, 3 cameras at the back, and inside the dashboard there's a fairly standard Intel Core i7 computer, which there's actually pictures of, although they had to pixelate it. They wouldn't let them see the actual picture that's inside.
Interesting.
But
Did they
this is
overclock
an
it?
ARS Technica article, by the way, by Sebastian Anthony. And he actually ordered some food from the company Ocado, which is the world's largest online only supermarket, which must be more of a EU thing, or a Europe thing, I guess, because I don't think they're...
We don't have them here.
I don't know if they're in the U.S.
Not to my knowledge.
But you'll notice there is a driver, so...
What?
I mean, he's not actually driving. He doesn't drive it. The car
He's just a passenger.
is autonomous. It goes around itself.
Interesting.
It's controlled by an iPad that's wired directly into the PC on board via a USB plug, so not quite into the wireless technology yet. The autonomous driving software isn't perfect, which is why it has a steering wheel, pedals, a big red emergency stop button. The guy who drives it says that it's mostly been okay, but there's been a couple times when people just randomly veer in front of it or something like that, that he has had to, make use of the fact that he's there. The article doesn't mention whether that dude is going to continue to be there, or whether he's just there until the software figures everything out,
right,
and can be relatively trusted to go on and do everything by itself. But the truck roll. You order the stuff, it rolls up. You push a button on the side. It also wasn't very clear as far as identification or whatever. Like if there's not a dude there, like if you need a special scan thing or something, or like a code to enter. And the box opens up, you get groceries.
So you actually go up to it and pay with with a tablet?
Well, no, you've already ordered.
You've already ordered.
Yeah,
I see.
You've already ordered online,
and it just cruises over to you.
Yeah, and then it rolls over, and then it's got little containers where your box of groceries is, and then you just grab it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Huh.
So
doesn't seem like it holds very much.
Future's coming. Yeah, well, I mean, it's a small vehicle. It's made for a fairly densely populated, somewhat urban area. This is part of the trial period for Gateway, the Greenwich Automated Transport Environment, which is possibly an area of this. I'm guessing, I don't know the details on that. It sounds like an area of the city where they're trying to set up for more automation for deliveries and stuff like that.
Interesting. I could see this being a hot target for homeless people. I can see homeless people just pushing it over because it's pretty small.
Yeah.
And just raiding it for food.
There's food in there.
I'm hungry. It's just, especially if that guy goes away. I mean, first of all, that guy's going to be out of a job if they improve the software any.
Well, I feel like the guy's got to be out of a job at some point anyway, right? I mean, there's some... So, I mean, otherwise, what's the point of making the whole thing automated?
What do you do for a living? I'm a driver for a driverless car.
I sit there.
I'm going to get fired any day.
I just fall asleep.
Any day I'm going to get
fired. People walk up and get their food. I don't know.
It's pretty chill.
Yeah. Completely urban area? I'm not positive. If we have any viewers from the UK who are actually... around Greenwich. I'm at least hopefully pronouncing it properly. Greenwich. I know that from Mary Poppins. The whole world takes its time from Greenwich. And Greenwich, they say, takes its time from Admiral Boom.
How do you just know lines from Mary Poppins?
I don't know why.
You're a nerd.
Just random things stick in my head.
Dork.
Alright, quick mention here of EK's M.2 NVMe heatsink.
What?
For next generation form factor SSDs. Look at that.
It's not even water cooled.
Does your SSD get too hot? Yeah, it's where's the G1 quarter fittings?
Seriously.
EK.
Just one fitting. It's wait, where? How does that work?
Yeah, just water goes in.
Just stays there.
Just uses it up to cool things down. So yeah,
that looks pretty cool though.
Clips on. It's got
sexy.
a ribbed heat sink. Pretty low profile. EK logo there, of course, as all EK products have. Available in a nickel or black finish. Compatible with all single-sided Type 2280 M.2 NVMe SSDs that are 22 millimeters wide and 80 millimeters long. It does have a front plate and a back plate though. So here's an example of two of them on an MSI board.
Sexy.
Which actually looks pretty nice in either color. So there's a back plate on there too. So the compatibility is somewhat limited when it comes to the connectors. The height of the connector, actually, I believe the distance from the motherboard has to be a certain amount. So some of the really low profile ones, or the stacked ones, I imagine, with two on top of each other, you might have more of a challenge with compatibility with. But as you can see, for most of your typical motherboard M.2 ports. Just slots right in.
Cool.
9 euros and 96 euro cents for black, and 12 euros and 94 euro cents for nickel. What is a euro? What is a hundredth of a euro?
Euronies.
Is a euro? I don't know that.
Is it just cents?
Is it cents?
Do they just call it cents too?
Well, they don't call it a dollar. It's a euro. It'd be a yent.
€1 and 50.
A yent. A yent spelled EUENT.
Euros. Quid.
A quid? Really?
Is that what it is? Just cents? Someone said just cents.
It's just cents? All right. Euro cents.
Pence? Is it pence?
Pence.
Pence, cents? Why did all these names rhyme?
It's just and a hay penny. All right.
I don't understand.
A little bit more.
People are saying just cents. It's euro cents.
All right, since euro cents.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. Ha ha. All right.
I sensed it.
Swiftech has a new, for a limited time, fully customizable CPU water block. Here it is. Here it is right there. This is the Apogee SKF block. And for a limited time, you can customize yours. So you'll be able to mix and match the components that are on there. So you can see there's different finishes as well as different inserts here. I don't know what that insert does. I think it's just an accent.
Maybe you can, I don't know, yeah. LED in there, maybe?
Yeah. Looks like it's just an accent. But you'll notice here at the end there's a bunch of different of the so you got chrome, white chrome, gold, matte gold, rose gold. Ooh, rose gold. Match with your iPhone. Red, silver, black, blue, green, and magenta. And then also the Swiftech logo, which pops in there too. Can be various different colors. So for right now, limited time, although I don't think it says when that limited time ends. Possibly when pre-orders end. These are going to ship in August. They're $95. You can pre-order now, and it's an entirely new cooling engine made of densely packed fins that are less than 125 microns thick. Super thin water channels.
Jeez.
So if you want a water block, maybe check that out.
Cool.
All right, 2 more quick mentions here. I'm gonna do these really quick because they're at the end. Toshiba has just announced 768 gigabit 3D QLC NAND flash memory, quad level cell. And the big surprise here is the program erase cycles, the endurance. So yeah, these are the first ever NAND flash memory chips to feature QLC, quadruple level cell, BICS architecture. The chips, as mentioned, are 768 gigabits, that's 96 gigabytes in capacity per chip. And of course, they can put multiple chips on an SSD or something like that. 64-layer 3D NANDs. And the target program erase cycles is 1,000, which is pretty close to the endurance of TLC NAND flash, triple level cell. That's one of the things that sort of seems to get worse and worse as you go from like single SLC to 2 bits per cell, 3 bits per cell, 4 bits per cell, is endurance tends to fall off. It's counterbalanced by the fact that you have more cells to write to, so it does load balancing or wire leveling. I'm sorry, yes, and it spreads the writes out. But 1,000 is much more similar to what you'd expect with TLC, so you're not going to suddenly be seeing a big drop off in endurance here. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
They're not sure how Toshiba is doing this, and as you can sort of see in the image here, as you go to the different versions, SLC only needs to manage 2 different voltage profiles for a single cell, whereas MLC needs 4, TLC needs 8, and QLC needs 16. So it's pretty crazy the increased density as far as how many bits are going into each cell. But yeah, cool. Hopefully there will be products based on that soon. One last story. This was sent on Twitter from Prophecist, the Prophecist today. Micron has denied reports that their Fab 2 has closed down after a major malfunction. This is an OC3D.net article. There's some issues right now with NAND and DRAM production and supply. That's why a lot of SSD prices have gone up. And there's, like Apple likes to go and buy a bunch of it and all that kind of stuff. So any difficulties with production is not a good thing. And apparently, I didn't catch any of these, but there were a bunch of rumors going on about Fab 2. Fab 2, by the way, produces about 5.5% of the world's DRAM. Websites had reported that production at the facility had stopped after a major incident contaminated both wafers and equipment, which would be a very difficult thing because these are usually, like you can see in the picture here, kind of clean room environments. They can't have any contamination going on in there. And that would be a serious setback for something like a major fab like this. Micron issued a statement that confirms that there was a small incident, not a major one, did take place at Fab 2, but that it was not a nitrogen leak as had been reported, and that it was recovered from quickly. So hopefully there was no actual long-term delay in production, because that could adversely impact DRAM prices, and we don't want any of that nonsense.
They're already high enough.
Yeah, so any reports to that effect are false. Thanks, Prophecist, for sending that over.
This could have gone under the other segment of bullshit. The bullshit
segment.
segment.
It could have.
Feels like one of those stories where, like, you know, websites, I'm not going to mention any names, but certain ones that are more prone to blowing things out of proportion might have just snagged this up and be like, what could this mean?
Well, maybe they did. Like I said, I didn't catch any of the stories on this, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if you're right about that.
Yep.
All right, let's quickly run down some
Clickbait.
donations. We did get a collection here. Thanks to all you guys who did that.
Donations.
Automatic Matt coming in first, $5. Thank you so much. Hey guys, Kyle looks so young again.
What?
Did you get a haircut? You got a haircut.
I did.
Kyle got a haircut.
Didn't realize that my longer hair made me look more old. Or
It can if it's shaggy and unkempt.
I guess so, yeah.
Yep.
The homeless chic.
Matt says he just got a Pixel. Any accessories I should get for it?
A case.
I would definitely recommend a case.
It's the only one I have for mine.
Here, Matt, I'll show you a trick that I realized recently. Probably a silly trick, and probably a lot of people are already familiar with this.
You just smash. Hulk
No,
smash.
The power button, if you double tap the power button, it loads the camera. So,
It's genius.
double tap the power to load the camera. I just took a picture of my finger.
That's how quick it was.
Well, that's one of the awesome things about the Pixels, how quickly the camera app loads. You like load it up, and like even switching over to video, it's just like so fast. So you can grab pictures really quick. But
Yep.
yeah, I found that to be very helpful. Yeah, and I bet there's lots of phones that do
There's
that.
also a fingerprint sensor on the
Oh
back.
yeah, fingerprint sensor. That's super nice. Too.
Use that.
Definitely set that up and register fingers on both hands.
Yes. Indeed.
Yes.
All fingers.
Register
Pinky
every finger.
unlock.
Yes,
Comes in handy.
as well as the tip of your penis. It works.
Oh,
Sometimes your
I'm-
hands are busy.
You know, it sounds like a joke, but I'm going to try that after this stream. I'm definitely trying that later. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Thank you, Matt. Sebastian Krauthauser, $10 donation. Krauthauser. I think I had it right, Sebastian.
Krauthauser.
He actually did the pronunciation. Hey guys,
Nice.
thanks for the awesome content. Here's $10 for the ad block. Happy 4th of July.
Woo, woo, woo.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. And
Raise
yeah,
the roof.
like all you guys, if you use AdBlock, we don't mind, we understand. But if you want to do something like that, hey, that's a classy move.
Very classy.
Appreciated. Fred Rant with another rant and a
Rant.
$10 donation. 2 Titan X, 4 monitors, all 4 monitors to 1 GPU and SLI, or 2 monitors on each Titan. I believe NVIDIA has a page on their website that says what's recommended for that. And I used to know this, and I know at one point it was you wanted to 1 monitor per display, or like split them 2 and 2, but it might be. I feel like lately I've been doing all in the top GPU.
That's what I've been doing. Like,
So-
I didn't even realize that there might be some advantage to
Yeah, I know there was
splitting it up.
Well, because when triple monitors like was first becoming more popular, and it could be really finicky to set it up properly. So
Yeah.
it might not even really matter anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question.
So yeah.
I think Paul and I have just been plugging. If we have multiple monitors and even multiple GPUs, like Hotline right now is just everything's plugged into the top
Yeah,
GPU.
I usually just go to the top one.
No issues.
But if you don't have enough connectors, then I don't think it's a big deal to split them up.
True.
And maybe double check that NVIDIA page just to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Dilbeck, $6.66. Who would win in a Mexican prison rule fight? Mexican prison rule fight.
Does that mean that there are no
I don't-
rules?
I don't know what the Mexican prison rules are.
Mexican prison?
Mexican
What are the rules in Mexican prison?
rules.
Anyone in chat who's been to Mexican prison, let us know what the rules are.
Prison escape is. I'm not seeing an immediate, like,
You have to fight with maracas.
fight with maracas. I don't know. Would it mean that there's a tunnel that someone's dug a tunnel that you can escape through, like what's his face?
Like Shawshank?
The
Oh, the prisoner?
why I can't remember the dude's name. The drug dealer, the drug lord in Mexico who escaped prison twice.
El Chapo.
El Chapo, yes.
Chapo. El Chapo your head off.
So who would win? I don't know. I'm gonna say Kyle. He's crafty.
Okay.
Kyle's crafty.
I'll take that.
All right.
I'll take that.
Where did my?
I kill you right now.
I completely lost track of where I was.
It's also because I look kind of Mexican. I think that gives me an advantage somehow.
That's true. That is true. You can blend in more.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You'll never see me coming in the crowd of thousands of Mexicans.
And whereas I would stand out,
stab you right in the front. Yep.
Kevin Ellsworth, $10 donation. I'm planning a Threadripper Vega build. Could you spitball me some names? Vega Ripper. Thread.
Oh, some fun names.
Thread Vega. How about
Ripper.
How about
Vagrip. Threadga.
Threadga.
It sounds like Olga. Sounds like a Russian a Russian wench's name.
Threadga. I like Threadga.
Threadga.
Go with that one, Kevin.
That way you can say it in that accent every time you say it.
Very uninspired names. Maybe chat. Maybe if chat, you can throw some more out there. Sex Panther. That was suggested in chat. Go with that. All right. Michael Brooks, $20. Thank you, Michael. Hey, guys. This is the first time I've caught you live. I've been watching for over a year. My God. Thank you so much. Thank you both for all the great videos. I'll be building my first system since 2002 this fall.
Cheers.
Jeez.
Cheers to that.
That's a huge upgrade. Yeah. Cheers.
Good luck on the build.
Best of luck.
Yep.
Fred Rant with another $5. Kyle's wife is ready for this week's $100 challenge.
Oh, no.
Glass of water poured over his head
no.
for him pranking her. Glass must be of the same size or larger.
Oh.
So someone will need to communicate that to Wifey Sauce. I have no idea if she's watching the show or not right now.
No,
also, there would be a slight concern for electronics and
True.
whatnot.
I'd have to push stuff aside.
It's $100, and as long as it doesn't get on my laptop, we'll see how that goes.
Then we'll need a lot more than $100 to replace all the damaged hardware.
You're right. That's true.
Yeah.
Charles Phillips, $10. He says hi.
Hi.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Charles.
Thanks for watching again. Thanks for being here consistently. You're wonderful. Mason Great House with $20. I bought my friend an elephant for his room. He said, thank you. I said, don't mention it.
I get it. It's a joke. Don't mention the elephant in the room.
That's all right. Mason Great House is apparently Badamir Poop.
Okay.
All right.
He's got the jokes.
That is good. I'm glad Cell didn't block you or anything.
Packing the walls.
Oh, hello with $5. Love you guys. Kyle, you look like you've lost weight. Are you still doing the VR challenge?
No, I actually stopped because
stupid.
I'm lazy.
No, that's usually why I stopped.
To be honest,
working out too.
Yeah.
But it was a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it was for the content, really.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it. I mean, I did hold true to the 30 days.
My God, people, stop donating. Save it for Kyle's half. We need to move. We need to move on. All right.
We'll never
Dak Mac, $5. What do you guys think about liquid metal Tim? I think it is something that you can get if you're going for the best of the best. It can be expensive, I think, so I don't know if it's always worth it.
I've never used
it.
But
most Tim differences are going to be a few degrees. So I wouldn't worry about it too much unless you're really going for something high-end or it's like I want ideal everything. But I understand why people use it sometimes. Brett Martindale, $10. Hopefully a simple question. Not sure which CPU to get. PC is dying. Currently running 2 Xeon E5530 quad cores at 2.4 gigahertz. Debating between an R5 1600 and 1700. Mostly game, don't stream or encode, etc. If you're mostly gaming, you're probably just fine with a 1600.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say go for that.
6 versus 8 cores isn't going to be much of a difference.
What's the price difference there? It's like 70 or $80 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably be okay with that. And you know what? It's not a terribly difficult thing to do to upgrade if you decide you need it in the future. So there you go. El Jefe Reviews, $5. No questions here. Just showing some love and support for awesome hardware. Keep up the great work and content, fellows.
Thanks, Jefe.
Thank you, Jefe. Thank you very, very much. Lucky Dog 24, $7.77. Motherboard died on gaming PC, so I'm on my 8-year-old laptop until I build a new rig Friday. Old one was 3570K based with a 1070 I'll be reusing. Good call on reusing that 1070 and 3570K, still not a bad CPU at all.
You could sell the 1070 and retire early.
Yeah, or sell the 1070 and just buy a 1080 straight across. That's
there you go.
Possible in some situations too.
Maybe we should do that.
KW0311 USMC.
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
Hoorah!
Thank you for your service. Love the videos. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you quite much.
Thank you.
Nick B, $5. No comment. Thanks, Nick, for the $5.
Thank you.
Lee Ogata, $10. While we wait for RX Las Vegas, we should drink more beer. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.
Okay, Lee.
Cheers, Lee. You're a bad influence.
Magnavox, $5. Love you guys. Keep up the awesome you being you. I'm going to be buying Vega since I made bank on selling my cards during the mining craze.
Smart.
Oh, cool. I hope you get in there early on those pre-orders then. Coda! Hey guys, next beer is on me with a $10 donation. Coda,
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Matthew Nelson, $15. Thank you guys for the awesome content. Internet killed television.
Did.
CTFXE.
Obviously.
Yeah. Do you know what CTFXE is?
I think that's a vlogger.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think Internet Killed Television was his tagline or something at some point.
Sorry.
YouTube knowledge. YouTube trivia.
I rely on the
Don't know why
internet
I
for
know
anything I don't understand. I'm like, I can just look up that on the internet, and I don't know it sometimes. All right, Buffalo Warrior 7, 555. We've gotten 555, 666, and 777. Just pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
Managed to catch another one live, nursing a Dogfish Head Indian Brown Ale.
Oh, Wifey Sauce and I were
those are
just
really
drinking
good.
that the other day. It's delicious.
Still feeling the effects of celebrating the 4th. Take a little sip with me.
Okay.
More first drinking. Not gonna complain.
Uh-huh.
Bever Classics, $5. Love both your content. Due to some issues recently with my health, I was granted $10K from Make-A-Wish to build a PC. Do you have suggestions?
Wow.
$10,000 is a
$10K.
lot of money to build a PC.
Damn. Get hella SSDs.
So yeah, get lots of really good
Get
storage.
lots of NVMe.
I guess.
Get like
I mean, it's almost difficult to spend that much unless you're just buying the most really expensive parts you can. Like, you know, there's probably one 4 terabyte SSD that you can buy for like $3,000 or something like that.
yeah.
But I wouldn't. Focus
But you want to be
on that.
smart about it too.
I would want to customize it. Maybe get like a custom paint job or something like that.
Yeah, get something that
That's a good
no
way to
one
do it.
else has.
Yeah,
Customize every single piece of the build.
that'd be cool. Hire Jay.
Hire
Maybe.
Jay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry Crews did it.
He did. Paid way more than $10K. I heard he paid him at least $30,000.
At least 1,000.
Yeah.
At least, or yeah, 30,000.
And
Wow.
Terry Crews gets one of Jay's kids.
Damn.
Yep.
What a deal Jay got.
You didn't hear it here. We didn't say that. That's just a rumor that's been going around.
Jay
Hayden
got-
Haslam with $5 donation. Thank you, Hayden. Any possible way to send Pimp My PC instead of Twitter? Sorry, I don't have a Twitter. Is there any way to send you a Pimp My PC besides Twitter, Kyle?
Unfortunately, not at the moment.
Not right now.
But if I get more requests for it, then maybe I'll have some.
Soon
alternate
we
option.
will
It's just
advance.
easy to, like,
we'll,
link.
We'll move beyond Twitter technology.
Indeed.
Stevie Chow, $5
Stevie Chow.
donation. Want to upgrade, but I'll have enough money to save by December. Stevie Chow, stop donating to us every single week. Not that we don't appreciate
You could have
it,
saved up for a
but
decent
just save that
system
money.
by now.
Just save that money. I know. We do all enjoy how Kyle says your name, but should I wait a couple quarters to see new tech? It's not a needed upgrade. It's a wanted upgrade. Just wait for Threadripper. Once Threadripper's out, give it like a month after Threadripper, and then I think we'll see a slight settling down of the PC market. Although Cannon Lake is coming, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Cannon
Coffee Lake.
Coffee Lake. I'm sorry, Coffee Lake.
Yeah.
But yeah, wait.
I don't
But December, like November, December, Black Friday time. That's a good time to buy parts. You can get good deals.
Yeah. Black Friday.
Grim Ripper 1080, $5 donation. Someone sent a message to Jay about testing the displays on different cards in SLI. Oh yeah, Jay's been doing lots of that different testing. I bet he could test that.
It's true.
See what kind of difference it makes.
Make sure you do it.
Thanks, Grim Ripper. Captain Crunch, $5 donation. Will either of you guys do a review on the ROG Strix B350-F? I haven't seen a review on it yet in English. I have a... Oh wow, she's here with it.
Wifey Sauce has a glass of
Shouldn't
water.
that be on Kyle's half? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't mind.
We're still on.
I don't
on
mind
pulse.
if it's on my half.
Told me, so I can wait.
Thanks,
Oh,
Cell.
Cell.
Thanks,
Cell
our beautiful
Rad.
moderator, Cell Processing,
Okay.
for telling my wife about the water
Well,
being
you
dumped
can
on my
just
head.
Let me know when you're ready.
Well, I'll let you
Okay.
know. We'll definitely let you know. If we don't, if we happen to forget, I'm sure Cell will fill you in.
Good job, Sal.
Bastard.
The ROG
I better
Strix
pay up
B350.
$100.
I have an ROG Asus board, but I think it was an X370 that just came in, so I don't have plans to review that. But the ROG
Oh.
Strix B350-F.
No.
Fred Rants, $20 donation just for that great Arctic Panther Returns video. Thank you, Fred. Why is your house at 81 degrees? Oh, your temperature setting was one of the scenes. Oh yeah, my thermostat was. That's actually what I usually have the AC set to, 81.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hot.
It's not that bad. I don't know.
What?
It doesn't. It feels fine to me, so I'm okay with it. I don't
Wait,
know.
your thermostat was visible in a video or something, and people are commenting on it?
Yeah, like I had a shot with me walking, carrying the computer, and
Ah.
you can see the thermostat there.
Damn, 81 is pretty toasty. We
It's-
keep it at 78 here.
It's really not that bad. All right.
Maybe you got better ventilation in your house. It's a one-story house too, so
Yeah.
it probably doesn't get as
I mean,
hot.
it's 81, and I'm usually walking around in like shorts and sandals. So,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, that helps me stay cooler.
Good point.
All right, Matt Grimes, $50 Thank you, Matt. Ripped my PCIe cover off my extension cable on my Micro ATX Lian Li PC06S while cleaning. $85 to replace it. Jeez.
Wow.
Should I replace the cable or get a PC07SX, go full ATX, and build a new system? Current is Z97 4690K 1070SC. My PC stand blue. Gosh, that's a really expensive replacement for a PCIe extension cable. I guess if you have to buy it from Lian Li, then that's probably why it's so expensive. I don't know.
Can you get it elsewhere?
I don't know if you could get something elsewhere. I don't know if it's... I'm not as familiar with that case, so I don't know if it's a custom design one or something like that. But yeah, I would see if you could find a replacement elsewhere or anything. You just deleted.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Case. It's the wall-mountable one.
Oh, that's
the
the wall mount.
ATX one.
Oh, you
or
have-
mini ATX. Or
that one?
micro ATX? No, it's a bigger one.
Oh.
It's the more like full-size
Oh, okay.
wall-mounted one. But I feel like you should be able to buy riser cable or like
Yeah.
extension cables for PCIe. Cheaper than 85.
I mean, if you're in the market for an upgrade, I mean, you got a Z97 and a 4690K, so you're not too outdated or anything like that. But I mean, if you're in the mood and you want to get a little bit more performance, and you're feeling it, then sure, go full ATX. But I feel like you might have other options besides just shelling out $85 for that replacement piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lian Li cases are expensive.
Look on eBay maybe. And have some.
Yeah, possibly. Thank you, though, Matt. All right, a couple more. Damon Boyce, $5. Will we be at LTX, the Linus Tech Tips Expo meetup thing? We're not planning to go at this point.
I don't think so.
So, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's in Canada.
It's far.
We'd
It's
have
very
to,
far.
We'd have to fly up there and everything.
That'd be a weekend thing. It's
It's
a lot of time.
Coordinate,
A lot of time just to see Linus.
talk to people,
Yeah.
be in public.
Linus. Yeah.
Linus is there.
Can steal our trophies back.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Damon. But yeah, we're not currently planning to go to that. Storm Zoo finally with a £2 donation. An i5 2550K, still worth it. Is that a thing? 2550K. Was that the one that didn't have the iGPU?
There wasn't another unlocked i5 for
with the
Sandy Bridge, was
motherboard
there?
and 16 gigs of RAM for $50.
Well, that's a great deal. If you're getting all three of
yeah, I
those.
mean, if you're getting all that and it's all functional,
That's a good deal.
that's a good deal. That's perfectly functional. I mean, I don't know what... 2550K. There's a 2500K, a 2600K, and a 2070... Oh, there is a 2550K. This is the Sandy Bridge. It's a quad core.
2550K?
I'm guessing... I think this... Yeah, no iGP. I was right.
No iGPU?
Yeah, so there's no iGPU. Yeah, I mean... $50. That's a perfectly functional, viable system.
It's unlocked.
If you wanna, you can overclock it. You can probably game fine on that at 1080.
Hopefully the motherboard's like
90 bucks if you want.
Z77 or Z68, and not like H or B something.
Yeah, make sure that the motherboard is also an unlocked motherboard, which would be P67 or Z68. Make sure if it's a P67 motherboard that it's not a really, really early P67 motherboard because they have that SATA bug. But
Z77 work too.
Let's not dive into that. Oh yeah, Z77 would also be functional there. All right, that is all for comments. We have a couple really quick shout-outs for people who have bought stuff in the store.
Johnsons!
I have two Johnsons.
Two
Johnsonos. One from Joe from New York. Thank you so much, Joe from New York.
Joe.
Grabbing that thumb screw. The T-shirt. Actually, a couple thumb screw T-shirts. Thank you so much, Joe. I have another one. Another one just came in.
What?
Lance from Kansas. Lance from Kansas got also a thumb screw shirt. Thank you so much, Lance. Johnson for you, sir. And finally, James from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Got the English pub glass.
Wisconsin.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you for your support.
I'm going to fire
I hope
off
you
just
enjoy
one here. Ryan Johnson to you for picking up a CPU cooler shirt. Thank you very much, sir.
Beautiful.
That is all for me.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank
That's
you
all
guys.
for the first half of the show. If you guys want to see the second half, it's on Kyle's channel. If you're watching live, we'll be live on that in just a second. If you're on Twitch, stay right where you are. If you're watching in the future, the link to Kyle's half is in the description, so please click on that. Also, if you want to hit the thumbs up button, that'd be sweet too. Thanks
Indeed.
for watching this week, guys. Oh, and if there's a wonderful person who wants to do timestamps, I'll love you forever. Okay.
I'm gonna